It's been quite a busy week for Rockstar Games this week, with the BattlEye anti-cheat being added. They've been experiencing a bunch of DDoS attacks. Rockstar is under attack from all sides right now, from the cheaters, from the players. Basically, everyone is against them. And today on the show, I wanted to kind of do a review of all of the news this week in the format of a discussion type video, because of course, there's just been so much to talk about, so many topics. We're going to be jumping around, moving on, keeping the pace high this video, because we have to talk about so much, from how the anti-cheat actually is a good thing for the game. It's not really effective at stopping the mod menus at all because they've already bypassed it, but the cheaters still can't stay connected to actual players and harass them because of an indirect way that Rockstar has changed the networking backends of GTA Online that actually prevent cheaters from harassing other players. So while there are still cheaters running rampant, it's not as easy for them to stay connected to public sessions because of the way the game works now. And in protest, a bunch of cheat makers and other bad actors are DDoSing Rockstar servers. That's why you may have had trouble getting onto GTA Online on Friday, Saturday, maybe even today. According to Rockstar support, all of their services are good to go. They're green lighted, they're running properly, but maybe some players are still having lingering issues. There is so much to talk about today. Enough with this intro, let's get started. All right, so while the bounties, both standard and most wanted targets, are double money this week, let's play through some of them and just talk about everything, because I kind of tried to figure out a way of making this commentary worth it, just in post-commentary form, scripted form, and honestly, I feel like the best way to go about this, considering how much news we got this week about everything, I think it's worth going in with a live gameplay format while we just play some GTA Online. So Rockstar added BattlEye anti-cheat this week. Earlier this week, we got that update in GTA Online, and now, you know, not necessarily that it's brand new news, it's still relevant news, and we're going to be talking about it here today. I was really excited to see kind of how that would work and implement it into the game, and I know everyone's excited to see that the cheating problem has died down a little bit. But like I was saying when I was talking about all this in my weekly update news video on Wednesday, you know, I've been dealing with the cheater problems both in Red Dead Online especially, as well as GTA Online for several years now. And it's never going to be solved outright. We're never going to get cheaters out of games. You're never going to completely squash the cheating problem in every game, because the cheat makers who are selling the mod menus and things like that are always going to be one step ahead of the developers. The developers are reacting to what the cheat makers are doing most of the time, but Rockstar took a proactive approach here and added BattlEye into the game. Kernel level anti-cheat, but the only difference between BattlEye as well as the Rockstar Games anti-cheat, the little anti-cheat they have, they don't have real-time session monitoring. The only thing BattlEye will do that's good for the game is issue hardware ID bans in blatant cases of cheating where it's so obvious. You know, a menu is detected, they'll ban a player, things like that. And then it's not just your account that gets banned like Rockstar would usually do, where a cheater could just make a new account, buy the game again, and start cheating on a fresh account. Your hardware ID gets banned. So in some cases, depending on the game, you could just reinstall Windows. I'm not sure if that would work in this game. It works in a game like PUBG or Rainbow Six Siege when you get hardware ID banned with BattlEye in that game, but maybe with Rockstar Games and GTA Online, and if this gets added to Red Dead, it would be a different story. But nonetheless, that is how it functions in this game. There is no real-time session monitoring. The game just checks and sees to see if applications or scripts or anything like that are running in the background. And so it's kind of pointless. It's kind of a futile effort that Rockstar made right here. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean it's all bad, because there are less cheaters in the sessions right now, just because of the fact that you have to do specific workarounds to it. And one of the funniest things is the cheat makers basically bypass the the BattlEye anti-cheat within a couple hours, and that was the funniest thing. And I was kind of talking about this on Twitter, how, you know, this is mostly for marketing purposes. This is just so Take-Two Interactive can mention that they put anti-cheat into their most popular game, and proper anti-cheat measures are being taken in their most popular game. But like I said, the reality here is that every real menu that's worth their salt will be bypassing this. You know, I thought maybe by the end of the week, but it happened first day, one day, and that's about it. Now, what's interesting here is the way these cheat menus are bypassing it. It's not that they're necessarily beating the BattlEye anti-cheat. In some cases, they are. But what Rockstar allows you to do is disable BattlEye because of story mode. And so if you want to get your story mode mods to work and stuff like that, they allow you to go into your Rockstar Games launcher and disable BattlEye. And then what the mod menus are doing now is just allowing you to do that, and the mod menu itself is allowing you to trick the game into thinking that, you know, you still have it enabled or whatever the case is, and you can just still get online. You shouldn't be able to play online with BattlEye disabled, but with the cheat menu you can. And so there is no risk of people being banned by BattlEye with this method, because BattlEye is actually disabled. So the anti-cheat, this new anti-cheat, isn't actually doing anything for players. And that is the craziest part. Now, in some cases, it is helping. I'm like stuck back here. Holy crap. It took me so long to unglitch that door. So in some cases, yes, the anti-cheat isn't actually doing its job because it's actually disabled. Now, who knows if Rockstar is going to patch that, but the good news about this is that even once you get online, if the modder in your session, the cheater, is the host, actual players are going to get kicked from the session, and they're going to get an error message saying that they got kicked because of an unwanted host. And basically what this means is that the game knows that someone doesn't have the Battle Eye anti-cheat actually enabled, so it's not letting them stay in the session. But what modders can actually do is just spoof the host token of a different player in the session, and that way they won't lag out of the game, the actual players. So that way, you know, you are experiencing on PC, you probably notice that there are less cheaters in your session, not because there's less cheaters actually online, but because they can't necessarily stay connected to players themselves. And so that will change once more cheaters actually figure out what's going on here, things like that. And so that's something you got to watch out for. But, you know, this anti-cheat so far, the anti-cheat itself isn't necessarily doing anything to stop modders and cheaters. But the way Rockstar has modified the game to prevent cheaters from staying in sessions and things like that is having an effect. Sort of in the same way that we finally had like actual protected invite-only sessions last year. That's why I mostly stick to invite-only sessions, because if you'll notice, cheaters can't join those sessions anymore. They can't like spoof your player ID to get into your session. What you'll notice is that they just can't connect. And so that is why it's super recommended to stay in an invite-only lobby so that you can't, so that you can't actually get bothered by modders and cheaters. And I think that is actually a good thing for this game that should have been done a long time ago. It happened in Red Dead Online too. They basically messed with the network backend to do that. And so this is another thing. They're not necessarily patching and preventing the mod menus from doing anything, but what they're doing is creating a way for the game to actually prevent the mod menus from being able to harass other players. So they're sort of doing like an indirect way of stopping cheating. Meanwhile, the cheating problem isn't stopped. Now, let's move on here to discuss something else, because this happened at the beginning of this weekend. If you haven't been able to log into GTA Online, it's because Rockstar servers are being DDoSed. And so you could check out this tweet here. MMI says that Rockstar servers are currently experiencing DDoS attacks from groups of people who are opposing GTA Online's new Battle Eye anti-cheat system. I don't think it's, you know, the script kiddies themselves who are paying $30 for a lifetime menu who are doing it. It's probably the cheat makers themselves or other people in the game who are just DDoSing Rockstar. We've seen this problem with actual streamers and things like that, but Rockstar servers are experiencing a big DDoS attack. It's basically sorted out by now, especially by the time you're seeing this video. I'm recording this on Sunday, but I know it caused issues for players on Friday as well as a little bit of Saturday, and so hopefully that's all sorted by now. But MMI actually followed up saying, expect these DDoS attacks in the following days. The attacker just used a botnet to mess with Rockstar's authentication servers, which explains why console is also experiencing issues. Battle Eye's site was also hit. So people are doing this in protest of the anti-cheat, and you're probably thinking, why are people doing that in protest of the anti-cheat? The player base wants to see this, even, you know, if it's only a little bit helpful. And of course, it's not the actual players doing this, it's the cheat makers, could be some sorts of modders, things like that. But the crazy thing is here, you know, the most paid cheat menus have already bypassed this anti-cheat in some sort of way. Players aren't getting banned. Who knows if these menus will get detected down the line, but it's just funny to see because there is no problem. The cheaters are still running rampant in online, albeit in just an indirect background way because of the other changes that have taken into effect that Rockstar has been dealing with here and that Rockstar kind of introduced into the game. And one more thing I wanted to mention here is kind of in the discovery of this new anti-cheat update going live. This was on Tuesday, I believe. We also got some news about Red Dead Redemption 1 on PC, so that was initially leaked back in May. It's still happening. We got more leaks on the Epic Games Store in June. Now we still have files of that were released before. Rockstar quickly reverted those changes in the Steam depots. We have GTA 5 expanded and enhanced. Basically evidence and more leaks that's coming to PC, which is very likely why Rockstar is introducing this anti-cheat now, because with expanded and enhanced content coming to PC, mind you, this was all leaked years ago, but nothing ever came of it. We didn't know if it was canceled. Rockstar was just taking their sweet old time. It seems like that is the case. They've just been dilly-dallying, waiting, and now they're going to introduce it onto PC. And so clearly Battle Eye will get added now, or it makes sense that Battle Eye gets added because Rockstar is going to introduce GTA Plus to the PC platform as well. I am excited for those changes, considering that performance is going to be better on PC, specifically when it comes to the lighting and the grass textures. Those are the biggest things that tank your performance in GTA besides just textures in general. And so when you have grass quality set to high or ultra, you'll drop incredible frames up in the forest area of the game. That's why I have mine just on normal settings. I would set it to low if I can, but there is no option for that. Nonetheless, that's some good news, but we've had a lot to talk about this week when it comes to the GTA anti-cheat stuff, the DDoS attacks, as well as expanded and enhanced content coming to PC. So I want to talk about all of this with you guys today, just in one single video, because, you know, I could have made 3 different ones to update you guys on top of this stuff, but it's been a busy weekend. I've had other content to make, and so I figured I'd make this one today, you know, not sort of as just news, right? You guys have known about this for the past few days, but as a discussion to let you know my thoughts on it and explain further some of the nuances of cheating menus in this game, anti-cheats, things like that, because I have been dealing with this as a YouTuber for so long. The problem was crazy in Red Dead Online. Thankfully, you can create solo sessions in that game either by blocking ports on your network, similar to setting the MTU settings on your PlayStation to have solo public lobbies. There's the startup meta method, things like that. In GTA, you just have to stick to invite-only sessions, but whenever I would jump into a public session, you know, cheaters and hackers would be joining my sessions, crashing my game, especially while I'm streaming, just because they know my name, they can get my Rockstar ID, things like that. Just because you know my online name, or my in-game Rockstar Social Club, you'd be able to join my session and start crashing me. And so it's been really annoying dealing with that, but over the years I've come to learn all the different things about what people are actually doing and how this can actually affect you as an innocent player playing this game, because, you know, while the anti-cheat actually is doing something, BattlEye is a piece of junk, and it's one of the worst kernel level anti-cheats you could probably put in a game because it's just not effective. They don't really issue those hardware bans in general. Also, just going back to those hardware bans as well, if you're spoofing your hardware, unless the spoofer is detected as well, besides the menu being detected, that's why you get hardware ID banned, but unless the spoofer is detected, if you're spoofing your hardware ID, when your account gets banned, your account will get banned, unfortunately, but your PC won't be. So that's also going to be another thing. I'm stuck here. I need to move this truck. There's just so much nonsense and so much shenanigans going on with all this. I know some players think that kind of like they have a grasp on what the BattlEye anti-cheat is doing and not doing. I will tell you that it is effective in some ways, but not because the anti-cheat is quite literally a good anti-cheat. That's not why. It's just the way that Rockstar has sort of prevented cheaters from messing with players, because the game has now been modified to kick basically everyone else from the session when the host is a modder. Now, if the host isn't a modder in their case, or excuse me, when the host isn't a modder and it's an actual player and there's just cheaters in the session, well then they won't be able to stay connected. They'll get kicked from the game for being like an unwanted player versus being an unwanted host. So in some cases, you'll see actual players getting disconnected when the host is a cheater, or in the case of the host being a normal player, the cheater will get kicked from that session. But I'm sure these cheat makers will find ways to bypass this. And of course, you guys may have heard that free mod menus have been taken down, and that is exactly what BattlEye's purpose is serving here. Free menus are garbage. Free menus always have been. They're probably always detected if they're not outright scams installing rats and viruses onto your computer. But nonetheless, that is what BattlEye is going to be banning, because those types of piece of junk menus are always detected. But the paid ones, the actual paid service providing menus, are actually good, and so they're never going to be detected. If they ever are, it's been a long time since they have been. Rockstar, realistically, what I'm getting at here is Rockstar themselves needs to be more proactive. They can't just use BattlEye as like an automatic process for getting rid of cheaters. They need to look into actual player reports. They need to look into account real-time session monitoring when it comes to accounts, what they're doing. If people are spawning a bunch of in-game assets in the game, you're not allowed to do that. You shouldn't be able to do that except with a mod menu. So that should be an insta-ban. If you're teleporting around the map, insta-ban. Things like that. If you're making way too much of a certain amount of money per hour, same type of thing. That's only possible with a mod menu. Even money glitches from duping vehicles wouldn't allow you to make billions in seconds, right? And so that's only possible with cheat menus and cheat software. Rockstar needs real-time session monitoring. That's one of the problems here. They're not being proactive about what they need to do in their game. And so, you know, this could be a test for GTA 6. I hope that GTA 6 doesn't just rely on BattlEye. I hope Rockstar actually gets their real Rockstar anti-cheat under control here and is able to do things. Some players, I want to talk about this real fast too. Some players, you know, have discussed dedicated servers helping cheating problems. What I want to know is, in GTA, with cheats, you could spawn any in-game asset under the sun. Character models, pets, vehicles, animals, just whole entire buildings, random stuff, change the time of day for the session, etc., etc. And that's because GTA is peer-to-peer, and so you could do all that stuff. stuff. If this is on a dedicated server, one, the game probably would perform worse actually because of just the way networking works and stuff like that. So I understand why Rockstar isn't using actual dedicated servers in their games, but I think that would take care of a lot of the problems with cheating, because you'd have aimbot, you'd have wall hacks, ESP, things like that. But in every other game with, you know, crazy amounts of cheaters, PUBG, Rainbow Six, Call of Duty Warzone, you name it, do you have people spawning in-game assets, locking you in a cage, crashing your game, things like that? No, you could just wall hack and aimbot people, right? Maybe there's an argument for that's all the cheat makers are doing because they're FPS games, and so that's all you need, but nonetheless, the cheats in GTA Online could do everything, right? There's like no other game with cheats in it where people are getting their game crashed. There was one problem with that with Warzone a year and a half ago, but that was patched within a week. How is that still possible with GTA? I suspect it's due to the reason that the game is peer-to-peer networking, because the cheat menus basically allow you to take full control of the game. You know, it's like you're almost a game director, quite literally in the engine of the game. And when it comes to other cheats in other games, that's just not the case. So you get aimbot, you get wall hacks, maybe you get infinite ammo or God mode in some cases. But GTA truly, like, the cheating problem not just is bad because of the number of cheaters, the cheating problem is bad because of how potent and dangerous and toxic and completely all-encompassing the actual mod menus are. So I just wanted to talk about that today. Let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment if you guys feel like the cheating problem has become a little bit better in this game. Let me know if you feel like it's become worse. I feel like it's become a little bit better, but I'm still getting my game crashed and things like that. So you gotta watch out playing in public sessions, because there are still modders in there that, you know, could harass you for a couple minutes before they end up getting kicked from the session. And I don't think it's gonna be too long until cheat makers find a way to bypass those security measures as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Also check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. Those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next GTA Online video. Adios, amigos.